Ms. Treadway here to work through your midpoint and slope quiz. My expectation as you go through this video is that you will make corrections to your quiz as necessary and understand some of the mistakes you maybe made or problems that you did not know how to solve. So 1 and 2, these were just the formulas themselves. And one of the biggest mistakes I saw was people were not putting m, either uppercase or lowercase, equals. So our midpoint formula is capital M equals x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. And this is an ordered pair, so it needs to be in parentheses, and you need to have that capital M equals. Now number 2, this is just asking for the formula to find slope between 2 points, which is little m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. On to this next diagram we have here to the right. We have a circle with center O, and it has the diameter shown. So if I want to find the coordinates of O, well, O is going to be the midpoint between 8, 8 and 2, negative 2. So I'm just going to use my midpoint formula, 8 plus 2 divided by 2, comma, 8 plus negative 2 divided by 2. Well, 8 plus 2 is 10, divided by 2 is 5. 8 minus 2 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. So 5, 3 are the coordinates of O. Again, these need to be in parentheses because we're talking about an ordered pair. I did not take points off on the quiz for that, but on the test I will definitely take off points if you're not putting your ordered pairs in parentheses. Okay. Then 4, we're still talking about the same diagram, and it's saying that if AB is another diameter, so you can just add that in, that would be like an auxiliary line. It's another diameter, and point A has the coordinates 10, 0. That's also on our diagram. Find the coordinates of B. Well, we already know that O is 5, 3. We found that on number 3. So this is like finding the other endpoint when you're given one endpoint and the midpoint. So basically what we're looking at here is that my midpoint is 5. So that means that 10 plus x2 divided by 2 is 5. So I'm going to work backwards to find x2. I multiply both sides by 2, and I get that 10 plus x2 equals 10. Then if I subtract 10, I find that x2 is 0. So the x coordinate is going to be 0. Then I'm going to repeat the same process to find my y coordinate. The y coordinate of the midpoint is 3, and that's going to come from 0 plus y2 divided by 2 being equal to 3. Multiply both sides by 2, and I get that 0 plus y2 equals 6. Subtract 0, and y2 is 6. So 0, 6 is the coordinates of B. Now, the reason I said when I passed these out that you can't make assumptions from the diagram, that's because if B was really at 0, 6, it would be on the y-axis over here. So 0, 6 is the coordinates of the other endpoint. On to 5 through 10, we're referring to the same diagram. What is the slope of AC? All we had to do here was literally use our slope formula, AC. 17 minus negative 3 over 10 minus 6. That is 20 over 4, which is 5. The slope is 5. Now, the slope of altitude from B to AC. Now, if it's an altitude, that means it's perpendicular. So it's going to have the opposite reciprocal slope of AC. So that's just negative 1/5. Okay, what's the slope of a line parallel through B parallel to AC? Well, parallel lines have the same slope, so that would also just be 5. Okay, 8, what are the coordinates of the midpoint of BC? Well, I know the coordinates of both those points already, so I just need to use my midpoint formula. 4 plus 10 divided by 2, comma, 5 plus 17 divided by 2. 4 plus 10 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. 5 plus 17 is 22, divided by 2 is 11. So 7, 11. Then what is the slope of the median from A to BC? Well, A to BC, if it's a median, is going to be at the midpoint, which we just found the coordinates to be 7, 11. That was what we did on number 8. We found the midpoint of BC. So if I drew a line, a median from A to BC, it's going to go to that midpoint. So I can find the slope of that line using my my slope formula. So that's just going to be 11 minus -3 over 7 minus 6. Well, that's going to be 14 over 1, which is 14. Okay, lastly, number 10, what is the slope of the altitude from C? Well, if I have an altitude from C, that means it's going to BA, side BA. So I need to find the slope of side BA, and then the altitude would be the opposite reciprocal. So the slope for BA is going to be -3 minus 5 over 6 minus 4. And that's -8 over 2, which is -4. So my perpendicular slope opposite reciprocal would be +1/4. So one other mistake I saw a couple times that I did not take off points for, but I would on the test, is for these slope questions, if you included x in your answer, that is incorrect. The slope is not a number times x. The slope is the number in front of x when we have slope intercept form. So just the value, just the number is what we're looking for here. So again, I did not take off points for that here, or if you didn't put parentheses around your ordered pairs, but I will be doing that on the test. So please go back through, work these on your own on separate paper, make any necessary corrections. I also have a PDF of the key in Canvas, and this is another great study tool along with your review and past homework assignments to prepare you for Monday's test.